Hey T, welcome back to my channel. If you don't know, now you know. We start with chapstick. If you're new here, my name is Dion. This is the Crazy Troll Nation of YouTube, and the crazy is just having fun with our makeup, having fun on our channel, enjoying the channels that we watch. And the troll part, not caring too much about the beauty community standards of beauty. You set your own standard. The bottom line is self-acceptance, self-love, embracing your natural features, enhancing them when you want to, but not feeling like you have to be socially acceptable. Love you for who you are. That is the concept of the Crazy Troll Nation. This is what else you'll see here. So far on my face, I did my brows with the Lottie Brow Pencil. Long title. Estee Lauder Double Wear Stay in Place Flawless Wear Concealer in 4N under my eyes and this area that's usually red if you've seen me without face paint on before. We set the concealer, even though it self-sets, with the Fit Me Maybelline Matte and Poreless Translucent Powder, and we used for foundation 2 MAC, another long title, Studio Fix Powder plus foundation. We used the NC42 on the center of my face, and we used the NC 44.5 on the rest of my face. And for blush, I was really simple today. I used the Sephora Spice Market blush palette, and what I used was, oh, I just dropped the plastic. I used this shade here as a highlight, this shade as a blush, and this shade as a bronzer slash contour. I do use them interchangeably. And then I sprayed my face with the Fenty Beauty Baby What It Do Mist. And that is everything on my face right now. So, as you see from the title, we're gonna play with the new Nomad Hudson Valley palette. Today is September 17th. It arrived in my mailbox today. Thank you so much, Felicia and Auntie, for sending this to me. And this is the box, and I'm going to read off of the box. Bright and bountiful shades formulated with extra fine pigments for soft fill and brilliant pigmentation, infused with apple seed oil to help keep skin supple for crease-proof color. 12 colorful and cozy mattes and 3 blazing shimmers inspired by the Hudson Valley foliage trail. That is what this says. The lifespan is 12 months after you open it. This brand is cruelty-free and vegan. No parabens or mineral oils. So it came with 2 postcards. This, and you can see what that says. And down here it says lift here. And it shows different things and places that you can go along that journey. And from what I read and what I understand, Felicia was raised here in this area. So this palette is very near and dear to her heart. And on the back is a Nomad's Guide to Hudson Valley Foliage Trail. And so it lists all the different places and what they are and what you can do. So I think that is really cool. So it has Hudson Valley on here, as you can see. And it has here the story. And here it has the palette, a season turning, and information there. The cause. Every palette, they support a cause. And that's one of the many things that I really like about the Nomad brand. The cause. We are proud to support scenic Hudson that protects the Hudson River and surrounding lands. And so they do give back a percentage of each launch to a cause. And so I really, really dig that. So let's get into this palette. And I do have notes here because I'm like, what am I going to do different than what I've seen so far, right? Yeah, and I do experiment here. So this is what the palette looks like. It does look like the box. Has information on the box and on the back. And this is what the inside looks like. And it does have a sheet of paper in there. This looks different. I do believe what you're seeing is what I see in person. And when I saw the pictures online, it looked a little lighter in tone. And even watching videos, these 2 shades look the same. Of course, if you've seen my other Nomad videos, excuse my dryer, the reddish shades tend to look the same on me, and so do some of like the yellow tones. And so I am curious about that. And looking at the palette, these two may be similar, but we're going to see. And so what my idea is, well, before I get into my idea, what I really love about the embossments, all of their palettes have embossments on the shadows. And for these, the embossment matches what the name is. This says Oktoberfest. It's a picture of 2 jugs of what could be root beer or regular beer. For a Great Pumpkin Patch, excuse me, it's pictures of pumpkins. Cider House is a picture of a bottle of cider and an apple in here. Fall Festival, there's musical notes in there. Apple picking, there's an apple and then like a basket with apples. And so I'm not going to go through all of them, but each one, the embossment fits what the name of the shade is. And so I'm going to prime my eye, and then I'll come back and tell you what my idea is, and we're going to get into what we do. Before that, I know, I'm sorry, I'm always so scattered. We're going to use Fenty 230 brush, Esom V33, Hourglass number 9. Already on lower lash line, you can probably guess we're doing 2 different looks. We have a red on this side. This is Snatch. These are both NYX retractable eyeliners, and this one is in gray, and that's the one over here. So you'll see me in a sec. So my idea was, when they did a sneak peek on their Instagram of the colors, they showed 4 colors grouped together, and then the next sneak peek was another 4 colors. And so we're going to do 4 colors on this eye according to how they group them, because I'm just curious how they're going to look on my complexion. And the other eye, we're going to do the other grouping. And so one grouping is Cider House, which is this shade, Great Pumpkin Patch, which is this one, Apple Picking, which is this one, and Wine Harvest. And so we have 1, 2, 3, 4. And I will call out the names as I put them on. And for the other eye, they had Farm to Table, Apple Cider Donut, that is so cute, Ghost Tour, and Mountain Hike. So these 3 here and this one here. So we're going to see, and we may pop a shimmer. These are the 3 shimmers here in the middle on the center of our lid, but we're going to see what the shades look like on me according to how they group them. And I'm really excited just to see what it looks like. And so for this eye, for the reddish grouping, we're going to take Apple Picking, which is, I'm not even going to have to tell you what it is. And we're going to, oh my gosh, put that here on the first half of our lid. And I'm going to edit out putting the remainder of this on the first half of the lid. We're going back and forth just a little bit to blend out that top edge. We're going to flip the brush over and go into Wine Harvest, that deep shade. Do I need to even tell you what shade that is? Oh my gosh. This is very rich. I am glad that these look different in some of their palettes. The reddish tones show up the same on me, which always disappoints me because then it decreases the versatility that I can get from the shades. And we're going to sweep in between to blend. We're going to flip back to the red side, pull that over. It is not moving. Flip back over to the deep shade. These shades are not moving. We're going back into Wine Harvest, and we're going to tap some more here. These shades are not budging, which can be good, but you need to get them where you want it. And I am thinking I am going to, excuse me, have to put a shimmer in the middle because this is not wanting to blend. That's strange. I'm going to go back to Apple Picking, and I'm going to tap that here. I don't want to overpower Wine Harvest, but I want to get a blend going on here. I'm going to go back into Wine Harvest, flipping the brush over again, and we're going to tap that. So we're just going back and forth between the 2 shades to try and get a blend. And this right here is looking a little bit patchy. Uh-oh. We're going to switch to a clean brush, Mountain Hike. And that's going to go here. And I'm curious too with the lighter shades how they'll look on me, because some light shades look ashy on me aka Dusty. And so I'm curious of how the lighter shades in this palette will look on me. And so thankfully, 2 of them are in this quad that we're using for this eye. So I will see early on how they look on my complexion and undertone. I like this shade. I wish it was a little deeper. My aesthetic, for those of you who don't know, is dark or smoky or grungy or very bold and vibrant shades. And so that's my aesthetic. And so even sometimes if I like a look, I don't prefer it for myself. And so having said that, I do like this shade because it does have a grungy feel to it. And topped with maybe one of the shimmers, it would make it look a little more grungy. So I am liking that. So we're going to flip the brush over and go into Farm to Table. This one looks rich too. And that's going to go here. I'm going to edit out putting this on the rest of my outer lid. I'm having that same issue with blending these 2 mattes together. I never have an issue. I've never had an issue before, now that I think about it, blending their mattes. I definitely don't have an issue blending their shimmers, and so it's making me think again that maybe it's the apple cider oil. Let me see, what does it say on the back of the box? Apple seed oil. So maybe it's just something with that for me. And my lids are not necessarily dry. The primer I use is a tacky primer, so maybe or maybe not that has something to do with it. But as I've said, I have not had issue with any of the other Nomad mattes, and I do have quite a few palettes from them. And so this is a bit strange for me that this is happening, because it never happened before. And I know I'm yakking, but I'm not good at giving my final thoughts at the end because I'll forget what I want to say. And so that's why I'm going back to hiking, mountain hike, excuse me. And so I tend to just say what I'm thinking as I'm applying it. And then we're going to flip back over to Farm to Table. So we're just trying to get a blend here, and it's giving me some issues. I like this blend better than this one. I like these 2 colors together. It's giving me army vibes. And I would have on a green shirt, right? I am an Army veteran. Also, for those of you who are unaware, an Army disabled veteran at that. This is looking a little patchy here, but it might just be me on my end. So I'm going to just take some more and just tap that in the center. We're going to take this brush and go into Great Pumpkin Patch. And we're going to use that as our transition shade over here. I'm going to edit out the rest of this process. I'm going to tap in again and just bring some right here. I'm liking what this is doing to the top edge of those shades. I am taking this higher up than I normally do. We're going to tap back in and we're going to run that under here. I like this shade. I like this shade more than I thought I would. I thought it was going to be more orangey, even though in the pan it doesn't look orangey. Nomad shadows look different on me than they look in the pan sometimes, and so I'm always surprised. And as you see, I did not do swatches because my arm is not the same shade as my face. And so when I do swatches, it's usually on my forehead because that's more realistic to what it's going to look like on my lids. I am liking that. Dipping it again. I am liking that. Okay, we're going to put that brush down. We're going to take a clean one and we're going to go into Apple Cider Donut, that grayish shade, and that's going to go in our transition over here. I like what that did. We're going to tap in and we're going to buff that under here. We're going to take Esom V27 brush and we're going to go into Cider House. I'm hoping it doesn't show up that bright because we're going to use that as a brow bone highlight for this side. We're going to take a little bit and we're going to pop it right here. It is changing the red, so I'm going to stop because I liked it the way it was. So actually, back to the brush that had the red, I'm just going to cover up. We did not add any extra shadow on the brush. Yeah, turn the red a little pinkish, duh. So we're going to take the clean one and go into Ghost Tour. And we're going to use that as a brow bone highlight over here. We're going to take both of our transition shade brushes. This one was this shade. We're just going to buff out where we put the brow bone highlight. This brush for this side. Buff out brow bone highlight, which I don't always do. But I really wanted to see how these shades will look according to how they group them in the reveal. We're going to put these brushes away, and we're going to take Scott Barnes number 60. Since this one is stained, we're going to take Apple Picking, and we're going to put that close to our lash line over here. We're going to wipe that off and go into Wine Harvest and just put that here. We're going to take the brush that we use for our transition shade over here, and we're just going to buff that. For the other eye, we're going to take Farm to Table, and we're going to run that close to our lower lash line. We're going to wipe it off and take Mountain Hike. And we're just going to put that right here. We're going to take the brush we use for transition for this eye, and we're going to buff that. I am digging these two looks, except for this blend. So this is what we have so far. So we are going to take shimmers. I'm going to try first and see if they'll pack with an Hourglass number 3 brush, and if that doesn't work, then we would use sponge tip applicator. So for this eye, we're going to take Foliage Trail, this shade here, and we're just going to pat that in the center, because this blend, or this lack of blend, is not cute. And so we're going to tap that on that line. Is it working? I might need to go in with a sponge tip applicator. It is working, but I think I need a sponge tip. So I have one here, and we're going to go into that same shade, Foliage Trail. This is what that looks like. And we're going to put that on. I can still see this line right here. Like, I am not understanding why that's just stuck there. I'm really not. Like, I've never had this issue before. I do think it looks a lot better. So we're going to take that brush and just pat over it. So it added a little something, something. So we're going to see if Leaf Peeping, this shade here. No, I don't want to do that. We're going to go with Corn Maze, this shade here, for this eye, and we're going to see what that looks like with a brush. I do like this, but same deal. We're going to go in the clean side of the sponge tip applicator and apply that. Wow. I'm wondering if I should have did my liner mascara and took pictures before I put the shimmers on, so you can see the full look both ways. So I do apologize, I just now thought to do that. And we're going to go back with that brush and just pat over it. I do like this look. So we've used 5 shades, 10 shades out of this 15-pan palette. So the next look, as you can probably guess, we're going to use the shades we didn't use for this look. I'm going to take a black liquid liner, not this one. We're going to take the KVD Tattoo Liner. I'm going to edit this out, and we're going to put Lancome Sills Boost Mascara Primer on and Charlotte Tilbury Mascara, and then we'll come back and figure out a lip. Actually, I have one, and I'm going to try something new again. I'm going to wipe off some chapstick. We're going to take the Nomad Dose of Colors Bullet Lipstick, which I don't like this color, but we're going to try something. We're going to take Leaf Peeping. We're going to tap that over our lipstick. It brings some life to the lipstick. It does look much better in person than online, because I was concerned. I like this look. I don't know about the lip with either look. But I like this eye look. I like this eye look. I'm just still concerned about that inability to blend. But I'm liking how the colors work together, other than not being able to blend those two together. I'm liking the lip. And I'm sure I probably have a gloss that is this color. So let me know what you think of both of these looks. Let me know so far what you're thinking about this palette. I do have a 10% off non-affiliated code down below. I do not make any commission off of it, but you will save 10% if you use it. Yeah, that'll be linked below. I think I just said that. So that'll be it. And so, yeah, hang tight. Some other stuff will pop up. I do have a Nomad playlist if you're not sick of seeing me with Nomad yet. And I do have playlists for other stuff too. Actually, for almost everything I do here on YouTube. I'm not going to start babbling. I'm going to go. Thank you for watching. If you haven't liked and subscribed and you're still here, please do. And feel free to comment, because I do reply back to everybody. Thank you, and you will see me soon.